Yep, here we are. Barely. Boy, you wouldn't believe what just happened. But what kind of a live streaming world would it be if something didn't go wrong, right? I've been doing this live streaming thing for 11 years now, and they're not all perfect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. As always, I'm your host, David Burrows. Happy Monday. We made it here. And sometimes we got to try a little harder to be here, I guess, but we are here. Happy Monday. Always like to go over to the comments, see who's popping by. And there's Carl Freeman all the way from Oshawa, Ontario, as always. Happy Monday. Barry Loxton, good afternoon and happy Monday to you. And Danny Cochemilio, happy Monday, Mr. David Burrows. Mr. Just don't let the gray hair fool you, right? Appreciate it, Danny. Nice to have you here joining. Hope everybody's doing well out there. I know it's almost like how are you doing? Right? Like it really does have a whole new meaning these days when we say, how are you doing? But at the same time, when it has a new meaning behind it, I think we're a lot more sincere about it than we used to be. I think it used to be like, hey, how you doing? Oh, good. You. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Goodbye. Right. Now when we say, how are you doing? Right. So when I say, how are you doing? I mean, I really do mean it. I hope you're doing okay. And it's just a whole new world, right? That song has a whole new meaning now too. But there's still plenty. I was just watching another live stream, and I've said it before too. I was watching another program earlier today, and I said, like, could you imagine if this happened to us in like the 70s or even the 80s, even the 90s, right? Where we didn't have any of this. We're still able to communicate and stay in touch. And there's really no reason at all to not stay in touch. Because where's my phone? It's over there. And it's like, so you messaged me. Well, I messaged you. Well, where did you message me? Well, I messaged you. I texted you. Oh, you texted me? Oh, I don't have a text from you. Oh, it was on Facebook Messenger. Oh, so that's Facebook Messenger. And then you have text. Well, I sent you a message. Well, where was that? What do you mean, Snapchat? Right? Oh, yeah, but then there was that Instagram direct message that I sent to you a week ago. Oh, I thought you said you texted me. Right? So there's no reason to not be in touch, I guess is what I'm saying, because we're messaging everywhere. And are you getting out? Are you getting out at least and walking and getting some exercise and stuff? That's good for the physical. It's good for the mental health as well. I'll tell you, and I don't have the pictures up here. I should have brought them up. They're on my personal Facebook. But Jennifer and I got out to Mystery Falls yesterday. And if you don't know where Mystery Falls is, well, I'll tell you, so it's not a mystery. But out Lambton Shores way, and it was like really deceiving. It was like don't ask me the road, Google it. But out Lambton Shores Forest Way, and Sylvia, I think, off of there. Anyway, and you go down this road, and I'm just like gravel road, and I'm like, I've lived in Sarnia all my life. I get much past Mendocmin and I'm lost, right? Jennifer, she's from that way, so she but anyway, I'm like, are you like dumping me off here? Like, because this would be the place to do it. And you go down, and then all of a sudden you're in the woods, and then all of a sudden there's trails and stuff, and oh, I had Mystery Falls tagged in Milton, Ontario. Whoops. Guess I'll have to fix that. That makes sense now. Somebody else pointed that out to me, Danny, or mentioned something. Okay, I got it. Anyway, Lambton Shores Way, Mystery Falls, and nice trails. We were 2 hours walking through. Like it's not easy, but it's not super. If an old, out of shape guy like me can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me. And it was nice. It was a nice trail, and then there was waterfalls in there, and it was just a nice nature walk. It was 3.6 kilometers we walked through, and then came back out. And then we saw somebody we knew, and they walked 10 kilometers. And I said, good for you, because that wasn't me. But there is stuff to do around us. Maybe we're not going to Mexico right now. Maybe we're not getting to all the warm places we want to be, but the warm weather is really right about here. And there's still lots to do that you can, go for a motorcycle ride, go for a car drive. You can still do that kind of stuff. Go for walks. It's important, right, to get your fresh air. And and keep that mental health. All right. I want to say, I usually do this at the end, and I thought, well, I'm going to start doing this at the beginning, but I want to say shout out and thank you to my supporters. I do need support to put this show on and keep bringing all the wonderful guests and everything that we do around here on the show. So thanks to my friend Philly Cheese Jakes. If you haven't been there, well, then what's wrong with you? 988 Confed. Take his orders at phillycheesejakes.com. And he's always coming up with something wonderful. And he goes live every day on his Facebook. So check him out there. Christine Fiji, big shout out to her. She's been a longtime supporter. I went to high school with Christine, right? That's how long I've known her. Wow. Sorry, Christine. Active Ears Hearing Centers, where better hearing begins with you. Hughes Intelligence, security specialist, Barry Bentley and his crew down there. Known Barry a long time as well. Thank you, Barry, and to your team for your support. From practically day one, month 3, I believe, AG Event Graphics, AskGuy.ca and Huron Signs SWO have supported the show, and they do tents and wraps and signs and you just name it, and they've really been a great supporter for the show will be 10 years in November, so thank you so much to Guy and his team. Joe's Discount Tire came on board and then the pandemic showed up. But Joe's Tires, you need those tires, get down to Joe's Tires. And our good friends down at Oswald's Diner, family-owned restaurant, Art and Karen and their family, awesome people, motorcycle riders like myself as well. You get their menus all at oswalds.com. All right, just a couple things I want to talk about before we get to my first guest. The IG Wealth Management Walk for Alzheimer's. I once again am very proud to be the ambassador for this walk. It's my second year. My father struggled with dementia and Alzheimer's and passed away from it in October. So a big supporter there. And we're doing 9, walk your way through the month of May. We had Marie here from Alzheimer's last week, and we're walking 9,000 steps a day. I'm not going to lie. I'm not exactly doing 9,000. What we did yesterday, I got a couple days off. Let me tell you that. Right, we got our 9,000 plus in, but great to get out and walk. And the Alzheimer's Society does so much, not for those just only who are suffering from Alzheimer's, but for the families who are supporting those suffering from Alzheimer's. I know my family is very grateful for the support and guidance that we needed as well. So you can, I'll have the links after the show posted as to where, if you'd like to donate to my walk, you can go there to Sarnia. altswalk.ca. You can join my team if you want. Like, the more the merrier, right? We don't just take your pictures of where you're walking and help us raise some money. So we'd appreciate that as well. And then today, don't you love going to your mailbox most of the time? Not when, the bills come in there, but sometimes you get stuff in the mail. A couple of weeks ago, I did a telethon, a live stream broadcast for #local, in support of the Inn of the Good Shepherd local shopping spree, along with supported by supporting Sarnia and surrounding businesses group. And we had a successful telethon with some great talent. And then I purchased my tickets. They're $25 per ticket, $50,000 in total prizes up for there, from like kitchen packages to dining out packages when we can, to getting to just so many great things. 35 businesses a part of this. Now, here's how it worked, just so you understand. A lot of times, you'll go to the organizations, will go to a business, say, would you please donate, give me. What happened here was the Inn of the Good Shepherd actually purchased all the items that are in all these packages. So that supported 35 local businesses. And now in return for $25 a ticket, you get a chance to win all of these prizes, from $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, and total prize pack. The biggest prize is $20,000 worth of stuff, man, from local businesses. So check that out by going to localshoppingspree.com. You get your tickets. Mine came in the mail today. I'm pretty happy about it. I didn't tell Jennifer that I bought the tickets, and there's a big kitchen thing in there for Medley's Kitchen. So don't tell Jennifer, because if I got the tickets, anyway, I guess I kind of let that cat out of the bag already. Anyway, it really was for a great cause and supporting a great cause, and they'll be doing the draw up at the end of May. So watch out for that. And then, of course, I've already told you, if you've watched in the past few weeks, that I am winning this car. I've already told that I was allowed to win it. So $100 per ticket. They're only selling 1,500 of them. And that's going to be going on till June 21st when they do the draw for this 2021 Chevrolet Camaro. Wow. Yeah, I would look really cool in that car. Cool car or motorcycle. If I had to make a choice, that's a tough one, but we'll see. If I win the car, then I'll probably have to make a choice because Jennifer said I would have to build a bigger garage. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But this is supporting Sarnia Lambton Rebound. And of course, they support and have so many great services for the youth in our community. So just another fantastic way to support local here in Sarnia Lambton. Get the tickets online at reboundonline.com. All right. Well, I've been really looking forward to this one. We've had her booked for a few weeks now. And my first guest is an author. And I'm really inspired by her, and I'm really inspired by others who write books because I've been wanting to write a book for a long time, and I think I got myself started. I got a title, so I'm getting there. But I want to give her a proper introduction here because this is going to be a heartfelt one here today. So I want to make sure I get this right. Her name is Jenna Strydonck. She was born in Sarnia. She's currently completing her Master of Arts degree in counseling psychology through Yorkville University. She began writing poetry in adolescence and has used it as a tool to process her feelings, understandably. On February 20th, 2020, she became a young widow and a single mother. 25 days later, on March 17th, 20, the province of Ontario declared a state of emergency. Grieving your spouse is arguably one of the hardest things a person can experience, and adding a global pandemic increases the difficulty of the grieving process. Please welcome my guest here today, author Jenna Strydonck. Thanks for being here, Jenna.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I wanted to read that verbatim out of there because I've been through the whole book, and I've got my favorites, and I just wanted to make sure that I got the point of who you are across, and that's only a brief part of this. But The Quarantine Widow is the name of this book, and that pretty much tells a bit of the story right there. But let's start with you, and just tell everybody what this book's about.
So this book is a collection of poems that I had written. So in the introduction, you read out that it was something that I do regularly. So I actually had journals with poems about Dave in it throughout our relationship and courtship and marriage. And I wrote the ones over the last year. Because the number one thing they say when you're grieving is to have your support people around you. And unfortunately, I was very much removed from my support people during the grieving process. So I had to have some kind of outlet that I could pick up when I wasn't being a single mom. Because I had little pockets of time where I could really just turn in to myself and let some of it out. And I needed to put it somewhere. So I put in.
Right. Sorry, you were cutting in and out there. We're having that Wi-Fi. It's a techie day. That's all right.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. But just so people understand, you mentioned, David there. Just tell everybody. So you lost your husband.
I did. So David had pneumonia and he had a heart attack. And he was in the hospital for 6 days. So there actually is a whole chapter in there about the days that I was in hospital. And then he passed. So he was 40. He was a student at Lambton College at the time. He was in Ottawa doing a co-op term. So there's one poem in there called The Drive, and that was just me during my 9-hour, race to get to him.
Yeah. How long were you married, Jenna?
We were married for 6 years, together for 7.
Yeah.
And the reason
sorry, go ahead.
the reason I actually thought about reaching out to you to do this interview is that you had interviewed Chris Holbrook, and that was actually started by my husband David and Chris, the 999 Legion. So yeah, he was a really passionate guy, and he really loved the community and was really excited to be a part of that. Unfortunately, didn't have the time.
Yeah. I've gotten to know David through that group and through Chris, right? And certainly come to learn, his passion for giving back and supporting the community. So we definitely recognize him as one of the originals in that group. It's interesting, interesting. I don't know. I don't know how you feel, right? Like, I guess it's one of those things you say like, well, I'm sorry, and all that you hear, sorry, I'm sure, but it's just one of those things. Until it happens to you, I guess you just really don't understand that. Couldn't imagine, don't want to imagine, I guess, to be honest. But it's great that you decided to write this down, but it's one thing to write it all down for yourself, but why did you decide to put it into a book and share with others?
I think when I was telling my story person, I could see the impact that it had on them. And I think a lot of people feel like they can't. A lot of people were feeling overwhelmed by the quarantine and by the pandemic, and to hear my story on top of it, I just think was really powerful for the people in my group anyways.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share it just so that people could see that there's a way to get through it. And I also want to legitimize the use of creative writing for good reasons. So, I think there's a certain stereotype about poetry and the arts in terms of but really meshing that together with the counseling psychology piece that I'm focusing on now, just recognizing it as an outlet for those big feelings.
I think that's great because I think you're right. I think there is some kind of a dare I say this, at least when I was in high school, you we got to read poetry today. Boring, right? I wrote some poetry when I was younger, and I still have them hidden around somewhere. But I don't consider myself a poet, but it is an outlet, and it's one of the things about poetry I find too is it's we talk about stories and then short stories. Short stories are usually 5 to 10 pages. A poem is like this, and you really have to think to express yourself in just so many little words, right? I got to tell you, I got emotional at times in this book. I'm just thinking of a couple that I read, and it just brings to mind. And I guess, and I am an emotional person. I try to pretend not to be sometimes, but this really impacted me. It really makes you think, and I don't know how to describe it other than it is an emotional book, and I don't want to say tearjerker in the sense of it. It's just got so much going on in here. Did you have trouble like picking what to put in and what to leave out? The editing process had to be difficult, I would think.
The editing wasn't so hard as writing the final chapter. So there's 4 parts to it. So the first one is love, right? Which was easy. I had lots of material.
Yeah.
It's the good part. I got to fall in love with Dave all over again when I read them. The loss and the grief were bountiful, were kind of where my head lives some days. But putting the last one, the growth, like where do I go from here? That was the hardest. Because I still want to honor his memory, and I don't want people to think that, oh, it's been a year, boom, here's your magic solution, right? So I wanted to write in a way that still felt, there's still pain, but you kind of have to find the glimmers of hope in there too.
And there is, and that sort of leads me to my next question. In writing The Quarantine Widow, you probably learned a lot of things, but did you learn some things about yourself along the way?
I did. I could never imagine myself being this vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
and just putting stuff out there like that, or call it, shameless self-promotion, like reaching out to you or the observer and saying, hey, you should hear what I have to say. I'm kind of usually behind the scenes kind of gal.
Yeah.
But I did really like too that I got to connect with another local person. So Dawn Stillwell from the publishing shop is the one who helped me through this process. And she was really great. Like, she knows her stuff. And it was just nice to be able to just like pay money to a local person and just kind of keep her art going too. And actually, Tina Holbrook Hunter, when I saw that she wrote a book with Dawn, that's what inspired me, because I don't know Tina well, but she has a brief story. She wrote a book called The Seasons of 2020 about losing her mom and some other struggles. And so I talked to her and I talked to Dawn, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? This feels right.
Yeah. So I was serious about writing my book, and so Dawn is probably somebody I need to. She's on my Facebook. She's probably watching, so I'm probably going to get a message saying, "Hey, Dave, sure, I'd love to help you," which is great.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy to take that in, because I think a lot of times, like, you can go online and you can self-publish. You write a book and stuff and put it on and get it on Amazon, all that stuff. But there's really a lot more to it than that, right? Did you? Yeah, I saw you kind of rolling your eyes. Oh yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a long process? Like, how long? When did it start to finish? The time you got it posted, and we want everybody to know that this is also available at the Bookkeeper here in Sarnia, right?
Yeah, the Bookkeeper has copies now. It was probably 2 months, but I was treating it like a job.
Yeah,
and I just hunkered down. Yeah, I wanted it out. I actually didn't tell anyone that I knew that I was doing it.
Surprise.
Because I didn't want anyone to tell me not to. So.
Oh, really? Do you think people would have told you not to do it?
I don't know. You're like, do you want people to know your story? When your son grows up, he's gonna read it. Like, I didn't want a peanut gallery doing this.
Right.
It's important to me. It's going to be important.
Anybody tells me not to do something that I want to do, I'm like, go away. You're not my friend anymore.
Well, they probably wouldn't have, but I was
self-doubt though, right? Self-doubt.
Yeah. Am I important enough to write a book? I mean, I'm a girl from Sarnia, Ontario, and I worked at the college at the time, and it's just so normal, right? Like, who's going to want to read my words? So,
I can relate with you, quite honestly, because we've all got
great.
Yeah, we've all got a story somewhere, right? And I've had an idea in my head for years, and I'm just like, well, who's going to want to read my story, right? But your herd is out there somewhere, right? You just have to put it out there. And I told you that's congratulations for taking the step to do that, because you're out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, and I think another reason why the book was born was that once I started the grieving process alone, I was on the Facebook of the widows and young widows, and it just seemed like everyone was they were at the two ends of the extreme. They were either, I can never live another day, I can't take another breath, grieving, or they were angry about it, like just really. Right. And I couldn't live in those spaces because I'm single momming 24/7, right? There's nowhere for us to go, so I have to maintain a certain, mental health for my son. There needs to be that you can accept the duality of, I'm mad at him for dying, of course, like that's just a normal feeling, and I don't know how I'm going to go on, but those are things that you can't live there. So it's kind of looking at it overall was kind of helpful too, I think.
Yeah, how am I going to get to the next thing, right? But I mean, I've often said, you got to set a goal anyway. How are you going to get there? I don't know. Just start. It doesn't sound like a solid plan, but really it's the start of a goal to get there, right? So now there's you just have one child involved here, or
Yeah.
and how old is he?
Yeah. He's 4 now.
Oh, okay. So he probably doesn't understand the full concept of this book, but did he know that Mommy was writing a book?
He did, and he's held it, and he was in the picture for the Observer, so he felt very special. And yeah, I think he will enjoy Lincoln.
Lincoln, all right.
I think he'll enjoy reading our story when he grows up. It'll give him kind of a glimpse into his.
Well, I think it's a great book, and I thank you for bringing it to me so that I could read it before today. And I have a whole shelf full of books over here, and there's some that are on the shelf, and then there's some that I keep close to me on the desk or the coffee table. The ones that are, this one gets left out on my coffee table.
Thank you.
Because it's even for someone who hasn't gone through what you've gone through, it gave me. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife, but I maybe thought of a few things that, oh yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, we take advantage of stuff, even though we say don't take advantage. We don't mean to, but we do anyway. That's just our human nature. And yeah, no, I'm very grateful that that you reached out and that we were able to have you here today. Now, you're on a roll now, though, right? Like you have got this book going on, and this inspired you to do another one. Yeah, Here to Heal. I think I have it up here as well. Yeah.
I did.
So you're on a roll now. What's this one about? You just told me about
this. Sorry, I just launched yesterday. This is about trauma. So after I was kind of going through my grief work with losing Dave, I started looking at my life and what had happened, and just kind of taking an inventory of self. And the first half is about acknowledging the trauma that has happened. So trigger warning, there's stuff about trauma in there. And then the last half is the healing part. So yeah, I'm a survivor of a lot of things, and I think it's important that people have somewhere to read about that, and people that are like them and that aren't broken, I guess.
Yeah. And this is great because you're in our community here. Like, people are going to hear about this locally, and you'll have that local impact. But you're going to have like an impact outside of our community, right? Because of where you're making this available. And is that your hope, to really reach out to beyond the borders of our community?
Of course, I want it to end up with whoever can find value in it. But I also think it's a way, I think I'm going to use it in my counseling practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm going to find a way to integrate creative writing and the arts to healing from trauma is kind of interest to me. So I think this is my kind of test case in doing that as well.
Right. So what is it that you do?
So I'm in school right now.
Just in school? Are you're not working?
No.
Okay.
I'm a full-time student right now.
Right. Well, that's work.
Yeah.
You know what? And you got 4-year-old running around, and you got a cape on right now. You're super mom. Are you there?
Sorry, I missed that. I have a cape.
You have a cape on. You're super mom. Well, you're going to school. You're being a mom, and being a mom, that's 24/7, right? And then school and everything. So, and then the school's online probably.
Yeah. So I will be able to I'll be doing my practicum in January. Hopefully at the college, because I have some good connections there. And then end of the summer next year, I'll be a registered psychotherapist is the plan.
Awesome. And more books.
More books. Yeah, I have another one on the go. So
Don Stillwell, what have you done?
I know, she created a monster.
But a good positive monster, I think. And
Yeah.
that's good for you, because like I said, you've stepped out of your comfort zone. Your box was maybe this big and now it's this big, and you just keep growing, right? And I'm going to have to get a copy of is the new book available at the bookkeeper now as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Amazon.
And
So
Amazon
run
as
out
well?
and buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We will, for sure. And this is your website. So if we go to the website, can people order it there?
Yeah, it'll redirect you to Amazon, but you can just hit shop
Sure.
now and it'll take you right there. I write some blog posts in there as well, so it's kind of, you want to keep up to date.
Get to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Dave.
Where's that?
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Back in the corner there. Perfect. Oh, that's better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a super family. We were.
Yeah. Yeah. And this here, like, I love this. Look at me. I've never swore on my show, I don't think, but look at me becoming an author and shit.
I was
Like,
gonna bring that, but I didn't run it by you first, so I didn't.
I put it out there, so it's free reign now. It's all good. This is real though, right? I mean, this is in good context, and you've taken on something new. I really appreciate that in a person. I like to learn new things all the time. And as a part-time teacher as well, I like to learn from my students, and I like to learn from people like you. And, I think that's why it's important that we all have a story to tell, and we should all be sharing it in some way. And that vulnerability thing, I just go back to that for a minute. Like you talked about that, being afraid to be vulnerable, because we look at that as a weakness, but it's really a strength. It's really a strength to be able to share ourselves with others, and others go, wow, I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And there is somebody else out there suffering or growing. I don't say going through it, I say growing through it, but your book's really, it's hit me good, I'll tell you. And I can't wait to pick up a copy of the new book, and just grateful that you did that and decided to do that. Good for you. I got to let you go and move on, but is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to put out there before I go?
No, but I'd be happy to give you a copy of Here to Heal, and maybe we could talk about it again another day.
You know what? Let's do it. Right on. Okay. You know where my mailbox is now, so
I do.
You can get it in there, and hopefully we could be. I don't know when we're going to be. I'm used to doing the live streaming thing, but I really miss sitting down at a table one-to-one with people like you and having the interview in person. But for now, this is just going to have to do. I would just want to check the comments, and I got distracted there. Here we go. Barry Loxton says, congratulations on your book.
Thank you, Barry.
And Bren Thompson, congratulations again, Jenna. Keep doing what you're doing and inspiring everyone. And you look amazing.
Thank you.
And there's Dawn. Here to Heal is a book that I think a lot of trauma survivors will be able to relate to. As I was reading it, I was impressed by the level of insight Jenna shows. A great read.
Thank you.
Fantastic. See, now aren't you glad you decided to do it?
She's biased though.
But I think Dawn's pretty sincere. I gotta say, Dawn's pretty sincere.
She is, yeah.
She is. And you got some other ones out there. Thank you so much, folks. You just met Jenna Strydonck, and there's her website. You can go learn more about her there. The Quarantine Widow, and then her new books, all available at the Bookkeeper and on Amazon as well. We'll put the links in my Facebook after the show. Awesome. Jenna, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you reached out to me because I just had a wonderful time chatting with you, and I look forward to reading your new book. Yeah, reach out anytime. We'll do it again.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Dave. You take care.
Take care. You're welcome. Jen, what a nice lady. And we got to talk and get to know her a little bit, and we got to get to know about her new books. And there's her website on the screen. You can go check her out at jennastrydonck.com. What a great story. And she reached out to me and said, hey, I just got thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, let's do this, right? And Dawn's still well involved there. She's awesome and positive, knows her stuff as well. And it just all come together really well. And that's a feel-good story. It's called The Quarantine Widow, and a great story of poems, 4 chapters poem collection, and I'm going to go read some more of it right now. I've been through it like 2.5 times. And then I go back. I haven't started marking it up yet. Do you do that with your books? You get but I got to start marking it up. And she even left some blank pages in the back. I think that's for people like me who like to take notes. Thank you again so much, Jenna. And that's about all the time I got for you this week. But before I go, I just want to remind everybody one more time, as I am a motorcycle rider as well. Watch for motorcycles, drive aware, and ride aware. We are on the road. And for those of us riding motorcycles, we need to be responsible and safe as well. It's a two-way street out there, pun intended. I do appreciate all of you coming around, and thanks again to my guest, Jenna. Just one guest today. I knew that was going to be a conversation. I just wanted to give her all the thunder on this show here today, and I'm so glad that I did. But that's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.